From the TPC River Highlands in Cromwell and the Travelers Radio Deck, here's Rob Dibble.
Brought to you by Big Y, and now we've got Bob Joyce. He's been giving amazing updates here from the Travelers Championship, and now he's on the set.
Hi, boys.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Goes from the course to the set.
How do you do it?
It's a 100-yard walk from here to my place.
So you're at the pool. You're in off the media center side, and you kind of have your own little battle station over there poolside.
The pool house, yeah.
What's kind of some surprises that you've seen here just following the leaderboard and seeing some of the golfers out there in a day and a half?
Just how low they've gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 6 guys now double figures under par, which is normal, but 15 under, no. And Keegan Bradley is on a birdie run right now. He's 1 off the pace after a birdie on 15. He's looking at a birdie on 16. So the 36-hole scoring record set by Denny McCarthy, if Keegan Bradley is able to birdie 2 more holes, he will set it. But the low scores have really been the shock of how low they are through the first 2 rounds.
Projected cut just went to -4, by the way, as we're talking.
Disaster for a lot of people.
Yes, so the last update, I mentioned that some of the guys at 3 under were okay. I guess not. Your boy Max Homa may not make it now.
I know, Max Homa. But some people have battled back. Justin Thomas, I thought, played like crap yesterday, and he's really battled back.
He didn't play well at the Open either.
Rory McIlroy battled back. Now he jumped up 36 places to tie for 10th.
And my man Sahith Theegala, he's kind of gotten back on track. I think he's shooting a -1 today when he was above par, which is
Thomas is 7 under for the tournament.
Excellent.
Schauffele will play the weekend. How about Rory? Rory goes in aces number 8 yesterday. He double bogeyed it today.
What?
Yeah, he hit his tee shot. He set an 8-iron for about 170, and the wind caught it and kept it short and into the drink.
Oh!
Can't predict golf, Susan.
That's golf, Susan.
But he did finish with a 64, so he scrambled for a nice 64 today.
Like yesterday, Adam Scott on 17. He was in the hunt to be the clubhouse leader after day 1. He hit like a 7-iron from, I don't know, it was a 9-iron from about 150, 160, and he put it in the water. And he hit the same club on his next shot, and he put it 10 yards past the flag.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I know. So, Mother
makes
Nature,
no sense.
Mother Nature works in weird ways. But
is there a particular hole that has been stumping people so far out here in TPC River Highlands?
Front 9 more than the back. I mean, Denny McCarthy loves the back 9. He has shot 30 on the back 9 both days.
Gosh.
I mean, as they've all said, it's strategic here. It's not a long course. You have to be strategic with your shot selection, your shot placement, and a lot depends where the pins are, and B, how good a putter you are. Rory made 120 feet worth of putts today, and he didn't putt worth a darn yesterday. I mean, he went from a 62 to a 65 today? Yeah, 65 to get to 8 under.
64.
Or 64. Okay, but he's in good shape for the weekend, playing good golf, and hey, Keegan Bradley would be a great winner here. Vermont guy, runner-up in 2019 to Ches Reavie. Reavie's the 6th guy to get the double figure, so we can't count him out. But right now, the biggest shock to me is how low the scores are here. I guess the course is in that good a shape. Now, tomorrow, if you believe the forecast, we could have some heavy rains overnight into the morning. If you play on the weekends, you're not usually teeing off before 8 a.m. anyways. So it'll be interesting to see if they delay the start, depending, because, the next 10 days is supposed to be like chance of rain and thunderstorms every day.
If they did
we'll see how it plays out.
Could they double up?
Yeah, in theory. Let me
ask about the guy we interviewed. Andy Svoboda shot a 65 after 68. He's at -7.
Is that Ron's kid?
It is not. It might be his nephew. He's the club pro from Milford.
How about that?
So he is tied for 19th right now. So how about that? He's up 27 places today with that 65. He says that's the lowest he's ever shot. He's 5th time here at Travelers. It's the lowest score he's had on the PGA Tour.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And doing it in your backyard.
I know.
That's awesome. Good for him. I hope he had a nice gallery today. I guess you guys were talking about the Laz parking people were saying it was really, really busy today, and the weather was pretty good.
I should say best
they've ever had before like 9 a.m.
Most cars.
Wow, that's great. So a lot of people got out. Well, it didn't hurt that the
gold
big
lot. The gold lot was filled by 9 a.m.
Woo!
Yeah, there was a lineup. When I came here early, went back to the Hartford studios and came back.
Yeah, there's
Huge
Eric
lineup.
Dobrad from Channel 8 right there.
A huge lineup. Talk about some of these UConn golfers on Wednesday. Chris Daly was on the show talking about her golf game.
I heard that.
Also, we had I beat Luke Murray, Kamani Young, and Dan Hurley in putt-putt, but no contest there. But then just thinking of you, and we were talking to Chris Daly, man, I think your women's basketball broadcasts are going to be phenomenal, even though I know you're used to national championships. I know you're used to Final Fours. I know you're not used to losing in the Sweet 16.
That was weird this year.
But after talking to Coach and seeing what I've seen, and Paige Beckers looks like she's going to be ready to rock, I think you're going to have an excellent 23-24 season.
Knock on wood that everybody stays healthy. First and foremost is the rain. Wow,
Here
this is the
comes
I'm so glad you made it.
This is the heaviest that we've had so far today. Yeah.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for a while, Bob.
Quite some time.
Quite some time.
Rat
farts.
You guys. Yeah.
But women's basketball is going to be good.
As long as they stay healthy, yes. And, you know, I'm already putting into my head, hey, what if it's a UConn-LSU championship game? It's the super team against the team that didn't do anything. But they picked up Paige Beckers, a healthy Paige Beckers, and a healthy Ice Brady, and brought in 4 new freshmen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see how all this plays out. You know, the one thing I got from a couple of weeks ago, talking to some of the players about the end of the season, how it did not fare well, and I asked them, what's it like when you're trying to do everything to stop what happened against Ohio State, and it just gets worse? It's the worst feeling in the world. I mean, and Nika was blunt about it. She goes, well, there were times at practice this year where it was like that for 20 or 25 minutes, so It wasn't that big a shock at what happened. It just happened at the wrong time. But, you know, you get healthy Ice Brady back. Paige, from everything that I've heard, Gino's talked about it at nauseum, that she looks really, really good. You know, the sky's the limit for this team.
You got to keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, you got to just keep your fingers crossed for everybody to stay healthy.
2 different injuries.
Because as I've said, Paige and Azzi have played 15 games. That's it, together in 2 years of play.
And that's the thing. We just talked to Dr. Robert Waskowitz today, and these kids at their age getting hurt, these injuries come up quicker the second and third time.
Right.
You know, because they and this is the thing we've discussed a lot too, Bob. They play a lot of AAU. Yeah. They play a lot more than these girls used to play, you know, years ago. I mean, I remember when Shea Ralph was having so many problems. I mean, it was a disaster to her career and derailed her for a long time. But, you know, I just feel, you know, coaching AAU now, you umpire all this stuff. Some of these kids specialize, and I'm not talking about Paige in particular, but some of these kids, they specialize in one sport and wear their bodies out a lot more than nature intended them, you know, 50 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely hate that. Gino talked about this, too, on Tuesday at his golf tournament. One of the reasons why kids, I mean, this current group, a lot of them had injuries coming in out of high school that either weren't treated or they didn't tell the UConn people about them.
Wow.
I can see that, though, man. I'd be afraid to say anything either to lose a scholarship or not get an
said,
offer.
Honestly,
gotta have transparency,
after she tore her ACL in high school, she didn't do some of the work, the prehab work, to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. Now, she did tear an ACL again, but she's had a couple of knee injuries. So, and now she's taking it to heart. And Paige is busting her butt.
Yeah.
Prehabbing everything, getting strength and conditioning. Right. She probably won't. I mean, she might play some when they go to Europe, you know, just to kind of get acclimated again. But she's obviously not going to play 30, 40 minutes. I mean, she may play 5 minutes a game just to get reacclimated. But she said, "Hey, I'd rather play the end of March, early April than now. You know, I don't have to play when we go to Europe." But they're all looking forward to the trip. It's a much-needed trip, a chance to bond with those young kids. And Gino and CD love those young kids. The Shade kid from Indiana, she's like a Kelly Ferris or a Shea Ralph. She'll play anywhere, do anything. I think the kid from Egypt is going to turn a lot of heads. Yeah, her dad's the national coach, and she's already a different player before she got here. It's knock on wood. They stay healthy. They will be in the hunt for a trip to, where are we going, Cleveland this year? Yeah, Cleveland, I think, is where the Final Four is this
that
year.
sounds like
Gosh.
you're penalized.
But it's just, no, stop. They're
Going
going
to
to be in the
Cleveland.
Quicken Loans. It's going to be a beautiful arena.
They've had a Final Four there
it's
before.
It's going to be easy for us to
When's the
travel.
last time you were in Cleveland?
When LeBron was there, which was, it was a
I'm
different
just kidding.
city.
It's always awesome. And let's talk about that again, because the one thing we love doing with the Bone and Joint Institute and the orthopedics here of Hartford is the preemptive stuff.
Yeah.
Is the motion labs. Now, that they didn't have this technology when we were coming up.
But we played multiple sports, so it didn't matter.
Exactly.
But you didn't know that in your future you could have these injuries. So maybe you should start looking at it. Maybe you should make if you had video of you and how you can tweak your technique, how you can have better mechanics doing certain things. Maybe you have a bad gait. Maybe the way you run is putting more pressure on your ACL. Maybe your lateral movement. They have all this technology now, and kids can use it. And we try to tell these parents, listen, get a baseline evaluation of your children. They could be 10, 12, 14 years old, so that if they do ever get hurt, we can go back and say, hey, this is when your kid was healthy. This is what we want to get your kid back to. Or if your kid has some kind of problem with their range of motion, could be tennis, could be golf, could be baseball, could be softball, could be anything. We can fix it ahead of time. That's why we love Steph Barrasso and her crew, because they can predict injuries now and try to help you from happening. Like the girl that they said, you're on the verge of tearing an ACL. Nah, you're full of crap. And then she did.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, now you need us, but we don't want to see you. We want you to stay healthy so you don't have to come back to us now rehabbing a surgery.
It's really the story of UConn women's basketball last year, man. Like, you can talk
Injuries.
about games all you want, but if you want to go to a team playing 5 at a time, 40 minutes a game on a Thursday, it's going to be tougher on a Sunday. Trust me.
Yeah, and if everybody's healthy, that means Nika's not playing 40 minutes. That means you get better Nika.
Right.
So, hey, knock on wood with this team. And, last night, happy for Andre, happy for Hawk. I mean, I'm not shocked that Dama didn't get drafted. You go through the list of the big guys that didn't get drafted.
So true.
Tim's the kid from Gonzaga didn't even get drafted. So
crazy.
I can't say as I'm shocked about that, but fingers crossed for Adama, and let's hope he makes the best of his situation in Chicago.
All right, so we talk a lot about Paige. We told Chris Daly our favorite's Nika. But, man, I think the best player, I said it last year, I'm going to say it again, Aaliyah Edwards. Dude, how good can she be this year? We got no Boston. Get out of here, South Carolina. Asia's been with the Vegas Aces for a while. I don't know anyone who's going to dominate down low in women's basketball more than my purple and gold hair, Aaliyah Edwards for UConn.
Well, Angel Reese is pretty darn good at LSU.
She got nothing. Well, she got nothing on Aaliyah.
Yeah. Well, how about this? We're going to the Cayman Islands for Thanksgiving, and LSU's in that event, but LSU wants no part of UConn in that event.
I agree. That's going to be
Are you
great.
looking forward to Europe?
You're not going.
I'm not going.
He's not
Why
going.
aren't you going?
No.
He should be. He should be going.
You should be going.
Yeah, well, I'm not. That's okay. I can take a week off, relax, and then I can go on.
You are not going to not watch that. You're going to be all over that.
I'll pay attention. I don't think there'll be any video of it. There wasn't the last time they went.
You were watching Wake
pay
Forest last night. What did you think of that game?
I turned it on, 7th inning when I got home.
Perfect time.
Phenomenal baseball.
Yeah.
And those two starters were just lights out. And even the bullpens were great, but I felt so bad for the Wake kid. He comes in, throws one pitch, a hanging slider, and it goes to the moon.
It happens, though.
Yeah.
Welcome to pro baseball.
Yep.
It'll humble you in a heartbeat.
It was a spitter high, and it got poked. So.
And I'll tell you what, and a lot of coaches like to see how you react to that kind of stuff. Too bad Wake Forest can't play another game and see that guy come back. But, so many of those kids are going to get drafted. And I was talking to Ben about this, Bob. So many of these kids at Division I at that level, that's like AA ball.
Yeah.
That's like the Hartford Yard Goats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of these COVID kids, honestly, they could be 2 years out of the major leagues that you just watched in the College World Series.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. And, Class Act, the kid who hit the home run went over and hugged the pitcher from Wake Forest and the catcher. And the catcher and the pitcher, I guess they were transfers from Tulane, I guess.
Yep.
And
so they played against each other in the past.
A lot of hugs for each other. Yeah, I mean, that was just a fantastic game. The kid who made the play on the squeeze play, the first baseman from LSU, I mean, that was Jeter-esque type of play. Fantastic play, bang, bang at the plate. They got it right. Just a lot of fun to watch. People say, hey, it's a scoreless game. What's fun about that? Pitchers were dominant. That was awesome. That was, like Game 7, 91 stuff when the Twins and the Braves went scoreless for 10 innings with Morrison. Was it Morrison? Smoltz went, right?
Yeah.
And they went all the innings. That was just, that was good stuff last night. But let's see how much gas LSU has in the tank against Florida.
I know.
Gators are deep pitching, man, and that makes losing UConn losing to Florida not a bad thing.
And they said that center fielder for LSU is going to be the second overall pick, maybe the overall pick, Cruz.
Yeah, he might be the Golden Spikes winner.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just
not a big kid, but he reminds me heart-wise of Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, the whole College World Series has been super entertaining. Every game has been nip and tuck. There have been very few games that have been blowouts.
I agree. I always say it's one of my favorite NCAA tournaments, even more than March Madness. I just like the format, and I know that it's an acquired taste sometimes, but you see the best baseball. I think it's the best kind of baseball.
We got to get Jimmy's team there.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Dr. Robert Waskowitz, as we were just talking about injuries, he's going to tell you about all the stuff that's going on, especially with these golfers.
So you mean I got to go back and do an update?
Yeah,
you don't have to.
You got to get a poncho on. You got to make that 100-yard walk, Bob. Sorry, can't stay here.
You could borrow an umbrella here.
We got some
plenty
umbrellas
of them
for you.
So, Bob, Joyce, everybody. We'll take a quick break, come back with Dr. Robert Waskowitz from the Orthopedic Associates of Hartford.